So St. Paul is the neighboring smaller city of Minneapolis, but a lot of people don't know it's the capital. It's a little bit different. There's not as much entertainment, but there are a lot of mom and pop restaurants. And as far as bars and clubs go, it's definitely a mosaic of dive bars and of a lot of you betchas. And that's really what makes St. Paul still like a small town kind of place. But they're technically the same size, but there's less density and things are a little bit more spread out here. But some will actually tell you the best food in Minneapolis is in St. Paul. And that's because St. Paul has a lot of diversity. Don't get me wrong, Minneapolis does too. Today, we're starting in the Hamlin-Midway district of St. Paul. So Hamlin-Midway originally was a working class white neighborhood. Like many cities in America, it always starts out that way. And more recently, I would say it's still pretty working class, a little gritty, but there's a lot more African businesses from Ethiopia, from Somalia, on the light rail. And east on University Avenue, it becomes a lot more Asian. There's a lot of people from Vietnam, there are Hmong people, Karen people, Thai. So there's a lot of immigration around here. So you get a lot of cool ethnic kind of foods. So St. Paul is unique in the sense that I think it's one of the cities that's actually becoming more diverse. I grew up in DC, and DC, well, I can't really say that it got less diverse, but it definitely became less black as I started growing up. But clearly, as you can see behind me, you know, it's not DC, it's not New York, it's not a place where people have this, I don't know, Friends or Sex in the City fantasy of, you know, living out their 30s or 20s somewhere. But people do move here to be part of different businesses like United Healthcare and so on. And as it goes, as rents go up everywhere, we know that certain neighborhoods are cheaper to live in, and those neighborhoods eventually become gentrified. And it reminds me a lot about where I grew up in DC. If you can look behind me, there's a big crane. And behind the Statue of the Loon is the Allianz Soccer Stadium. When they built that, I think maybe around 10 years ago, I already knew what was up. They're just kind of waiting. It was a ticking time bomb for things to change. So none of this construction behind me was going on 10 years ago, but they were setting the stage basically. Right now, as you can see behind the cranes, they're building a multi-million-dollar entertainment complex. So that's going to change the neighborhood a lot. I can't say for better or for worse. I don't know what the local business owners are thinking. All I know is that we got to figure out some way for the people who are already here to maintain living here, keep a cheap rent, or at least affordable rent, but also be able to enjoy the luxury that some of this new commercial stuff brings. Cut. Right now, we're on the corner of Snelling and University Avenue. You have the light rail behind me. You have different buses going back and forth. So this is a transit hub. And, you know, America's facing this kind of tough drug issue right now. And it's not unique to here. It's happening all over. And being a transit hub, especially in somewhere that's as cold as Minnesota, it's a place where a lot of people who don't have anywhere to go, who are afflicted by different kinds of substances, they choose to take refuge in the trains, on the buses, sleep wherever they can. That abandoned CVS, I don't know how long it's been since it closed down, but that's actually the subject of a lot of controversy. I'm honestly not exactly sure what. You know, I think people are just doing, you know, they go there to do their thing. But they've been talking about demolishing it for the longest time. It's a big subject of conversation on Reddit. So today I'm going to be joined by my friend Yoel. He is a St. Paul native who now lives in Minneapolis as a transplant. But if you ever say anything bad about St. Paul, he will be quick to suggest that you guys box. So, you know, we're going to see how it goes, get his opinions on the city, and, you know, his opinions on public transportation, most importantly. So we'll see how that goes. Nah, but, so you grew up in St. Paul and you're a St. Paul native. And
I'm a West Sider.
West Sider. Have you been able to explore University Avenue at all?
Oh, yeah,
in all your time?
My father used to live just down the street here, and we had, what would you call it? an immense amount of business here. Like we didn't run the businesses,
Okay.
but my mother would stop by at that Walmart probably like once a week to pick up groceries. I think it's closed now.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, there's a lot of things going on with this area. You know what I mean?
Rondo
Demolishing,
Library was one of
starting
my
new
favorites
things.
down the block. I believe that's still open.
Yeah.
A lot of these restaurants. I had this cousin that was interested in collecting international banknotes, same as I do. And so we would hop from like restaurant to like bar to like shopping area.
Okay.
Just beg them for if they had like Chinese currency, Japanese, Vietnamese, Filipino.
Okay, so you got a lot of memories out here.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. There's an Asian grocery store coming up called Shuang He. They have the same one. They have the same one in Minneapolis, but I like this one better because it's a little bit bigger. And they have like fresh beef next to like green onions, next to like Thai Red Bull, and it's all in the same area.
Did you say Thai Red Bull?
Thai Red Bull, yeah.
Okay. I've never heard of that.
So it's just Red Bull, but in like different cans. Like they're this short, and then they're like brown.
Oh yeah, I think we should definitely go to a Southeast Asian or Asian grocery store at some point today. Yeah. Okay, I'm just checking the stock.
What's happening?
Yeah, so I'm sure you remember when they built the light rail, right? Like this is before and after.
You want to hear a funny story about it?
Sure, why not? Go ahead.
High school kid I used to go along with was the kid that was on the news for getting hit by the light rail.
Yo, that's crazy.
Dude, he's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was going to be a morbid story or not.
No.
I mean,
what I heard was that he was plugged in, listening to music, and the light rail driver was like hitting the horn, and he just didn't hear. He felt it though. I'll tell you that much.
Well, that's crazy that the driver was beeping him out the way and didn't hit the brakes. All right, so we're outside of the Trung Nam Bakery. It's a Vietnamese French bakery. It's kind of interesting. It's got some interesting lettering. It's pretty old. My friend was talking about the picture of the Eiffel Tower over there, and we were just joking around like, I don't know, maybe they like being colonized. Vietnamese fam, don't kill me. I'm just playing. But apparently, they have some of the best croissants in the city. So we're gonna try some croissants, maybe a banh mi. Nah, probably just croissants. And a Vietnamese iced coffee because I need to wake up.
That actually, oh my goodness.
Can I get a Vietnamese iced coffee? Well, yeah, and also the croissant. Do you have a favorite?
You take the apples, and I'll get. How about the cinnamon?
So, got Vietnamese iced coffee. This is essential because I'm still sleepy. And I got a blueberry croissant, but my sister accidentally took it, so I'm just eating the apple croissant.
Okay. I myself got the cinnamon roll. This is going to put me in a diabetic ketoacidosis episode, so I need to inject some insulin right after this, but I'm going to try this first. How's your coffee?
Haven't had it yet, man. Yeah, really good. It's also, so I don't know, there's something about the condensed milk, you know what I mean? That just, I don't know, makes it so bomb.
This is smooth. It's crunchy. You can hear the crunches. Softer on the inside.
Hey, bro, you love doing this, man.
No, the cinnamon is something else.
No, you gotta do it for more videos.
I wanted to get this on video regarding my first time trying Vietnamese coffee. A few years ago, me and my cousin from Maryland drove north from the Twin Cities across the border into Winnipeg. And my cousin was gracious enough to cover the Airbnb that we were going to stay at. Once we got there, we found out that the couple that was renting out their space were Vietnamese immigrants. And we talked to them about our aunt, who's also Vietnamese, and we got along with them. They were kind enough to even make us breakfast in the mornings. And what did we wash it down with? Well, Vietnamese coffee. One of the ladies was a chef, and so she made soft breads with some. I think she made ham in the mornings, some eggs, and then she made us our Vietnamese coffee. And she gave us pineapple inside. She salted it with like kosher salt. Ever since then, it's been an impression on me. My cousin and I, every single time we meet out, go out and try to find Vietnamese coffee. I don't think he's ever been to this place. Have you ever seen Heaven and Earth?
Is that a movie?
It is a movie. Yeah, it came out in 1993, and it was about a young lady who lived in Vietnam, a Vietnamese woman in Vietnam during the Vietnam War, or the American War, so to speak. And you see her family traumatized. She's thrown into this fight between the North and the South, and I think her family, at least her brother, joined the army with the Viet Cong. This young lady is violated and tormented, thrown as an outcast just because she was Vietnamese by American soldiers, mistreated her. She makes her way to the U.S. I don't know why. I think movies on the Vietnam War specifically just make me bawl my eyes out.
Yeah, it's a little bit different though when it's from the perspective of the Vietnamese person. There's a lot of Vietnamese movies, not Vietnamese movies, but a lot of Vietnam War movies where the protagonists and the tragedy is more centered around the American soldiers who are getting hurt. But they never ask the question why those American soldiers are there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know that the Vietnam War ended not because a bunch of Vietnamese people were getting killed, but because a lot of young men were going out, being drafted, and too many of them were dying. So a lot of people started protesting that. Oh yeah, so part of this episode is about public transit. So the name of the video is actually going to be "The Best Food in Minneapolis is in St. Paul." Also in quotes, Green Line Food Tour.
Okay.
So a lot of people, don't take public transit around here, right?
Yeah.
And some people are completely terrified of it too, you know what I mean?
True. That's true.
But I want to hear some of your opinions about public transit. You've said that you take issue with people that refuse to take it. Maybe not that don't take it, but that refuse to.
I think specifically for sporting events, hockey games at what rightfully should be called the XL Energy Center, because I'm not going with that new name. Games at Target Field, Target Center, public transportation make it that much easier to avoid having to pay exorbitant parking fees, as well as taking an hour and a half to find a spot just so you can fight through a crowd of people to make it to your seat, right? Taking this light rail just simplifies the entire process. You can park your car, at home, catch the light rail, make it to the game or the concert on time without having to stress too much. You pay like $50 for parking during a game or a concert, but you pay $2, 25 cents during rush hour for a ticket on the light rail. Economically, it's a better option. Also, I like some of the character that these light rails tend to have. I can't tell you how many fights I've seen on the light rail, on the buses, public transportation, and I think that's the biggest turnout for people that feel a little insecure about going into the city, right? But I am a big fan of like grimy, piss-covered seats. I love seeing that. Number one, it makes tickets that much cheaper. Number two, not relegates. It makes it seem a little bit more like Chicago or New York City or even DC. Oh, yeah. We'll probably stop by if they have something interesting. Oh, a free Tibet parade.
Well, that's crazy.
I'll say it right now, Brody.
That's so right.
Free Tibet. I'm with them on this one. This here is the state capital of the state of Minnesota. And right across that way is the St. Peter's Basilica.
Are you sure it's not St. Paul?
St. Paul's a city. St. Peter's... No, St. Peter's is a basilica in the Vatican. We're going to have to look this up. The fact that they're like right down the street from each other always like sticks out to me in mind. Of course, there's the idea of keeping, church and state separate. That's fine. I got nothing against that. But the fact that they're reflected towards each other makes me think of the fact that the population here takes faith very seriously. I honestly don't even feel like we have a huge like Catholic population. But that's fine,
Yeah, we're at a Cambodian restaurant right now called, as my friend showed, Chang Hang on University Avenue. I really wanted to come here because they have good ratings, but more than anything, I've never been to a Cambodian restaurant, so we'll see. Speaking of that, have you ever been to Cambodia traveling?
Me?
Yeah.
Only through the airport. I had a layover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that doesn't count. What is like a typical Cambodian dish that you would? They're all Cambodian.
It is Cambodian.
Okay, oh, I believe you.
You cannot find anywhere. I tell you what, even I can tell you this fried rice, you never try anyway.
Okay. Sauce.
So they all are real Cambodian.
Okay.
So the question is, how spicy next?
I was looking at this one, the one you pointed to. What is pahokite?
You are not vegetarian, right? Can you eat pork?
Yes.
And then you should try.
But what is it? Pahokite?
Okay, I mean, what is a hamburger?
Oh, just ground beef?
No,
And then,
I mean, what I'm saying, the sauce. I mean, you ask me, what is that?
Oh.
I cannot tell you. Right. The next one, I want you all to try number 3A.
Okay.
3A.
Like the bus.
Yeah.
So 3A, chive cake. Pan-fried rice cakes stuffed with chive leaves, served with our house
This
sauce.
one is only coming. That's not made by flour. It's made by sticky white flour.
Sticky rice.
Okay. Yeah, we'll try those.
Yeah, I mean,
Egg soda.
I mean, I always say that I remember 50 years ago when I came to this country. The first time when I go to the Pizza Hut. What is the pepperoni? What do you taste?
Did you like it?
Huh?
Did you like the Pizza Hut?
Well, remember, I was in South Dakota. Only 300 population. Only one Pizza Hut.
So that was, even if you didn't like it, that was the only choice for the most part.
You eat a cheeseburger or Pizza Hut. So which one do you prefer?
I don't know.
No Chinese restaurant.
Right.
No Asian restaurant.
I think I would be grateful. I don't go to Pizza Hut for the most part, but I would be grateful for the diversity outside of just hamburgers,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's a Chinese restaurant everywhere, though.
Huh?
I feel like there's a Chinese restaurant
No,
everywhere.
South 1970.
Oh, 1970.
I
Okay.
came to this country in 1970.
Could we ask you a question about?
Yeah.
You said you came here in 1970. You went to South Dakota, and then you said you became a professor. Did you leave? Did you leave because of the Khmer Rouge?
I am Chinese.
Oh, okay. Where in China?
Cambodian.
Where in China were you from?
Shanghai, Hamlin. Hamlin.
Amon.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you all travel quite a lot.
Just a fair amount. Yeah.
He travels a lot, clearly.
Yeah, he does travel a lot.
As long as the ticket is affordable, then that's it. You know.
I mean, that's good. I mean, I wish I can do it.
Oh yeah. I would encourage you. Where would you go if you could?
I would say I want to go back to China.
That's fair.
So how'd you like end up with like in like a Cambodian restaurant?
My wife.
Like
My wife
Cambodian.
Cambodian.
Your wife's Cambodian. You meet her here in America? You meet your wife here in America?
Okay.
No, I love the
I know.
Cambodia is a very nice country. Well, I would say that pretty much everywhere, right? Everyone, you can, USA and your own country is beautiful.
Yeah.
One could argue.
So, are you and your wife the owners of this restaurant?
I work for my wife.
Oh, your wife is the owner.
Yeah, I am 72 years old.
There's no shame in that. You're supporting your wife. Keep working. It's okay.
For sure.
I tell you.
I retire and then I stay home for 1 week. I get
Have you ever been to Cambodia?
I just get back yesterday.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, which city did you stay in?
everywhere.
You went Phnom Penh, Siem Reap, everywhere.
Name it.
Ah, okay. Can you speak the Khmer language?
Yeah, only take me 1 year.
That's it. Ah, thank you.
You should try. You should travel more.
Hopefully. The problem is that traveling is so expensive. What you must do is find the cheapest tickets to the first destination.
Unless you have a plenty time.
Ah,
You don't have time to get it. This one, you stir them and put in the water. Yeah,
thank you.
Diet Coke, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then this goes
This
into
one
here.
go in here. You stir them first. This one soda. So don't drink it. Stir them.
Stir this first.
Yes.
And then pour it in here.
Yes.
Would you show it to the video?
Yeah, so try it. Try.
How much should I stir for?
Yeah, you know what. Come on.
This is what Rocky does on his cheat days.
Okay. You can pour in.
What kind of soda? Is this just water or is this like what's in here?
On the menu, it does say soda, but it doesn't say what kind of soda. It could be like house-made soda.
It's an egg soda, whatever that
but
means.
like-
Well, yeah, but like on the menu itself.
What's the clear?
Oh, the base. Maybe it's just soda water.
If
Maybe that's
we
what they
tell
mean.
you everything, we probably close our business.
Shishima.
Is that right?
Huh? No, just that's all the Chinese I know.
All right, how is it?
Pretty good actually.
Really?
All right, let me get a taste of that.
Raw egg.
Egg soda sounds disgusting to me. I'm not gonna lie. So let's see. I'm gonna give it a sip. Yeah, this is not for me. I can tolerate it, but that is not. God did not create that with me in mind.
It gives you the information that you want.
Yeah, and he's excited to talk about.
Yeah. And it's enough information where he doesn't like overbear you with like everything you need to know. He's like, I think it sounded like a tease. Like, you don't know until you try. You try it first. He says you can't explain the taste. You just try it.
Yeah, it was funny to find out he was Chinese after.
Yeah.
After like him
That
being
threw
like, it's
me
all
way off.
Cambodia. It's all Cambodia. Oh, I'm Chinese. Well, my wife is Cambodian.
Man.
Close enough.
It threw me off. So he was talking to me. He was talking to us about his history emigrating here, specifically to South Dakota, in 1970.
1970. Yeah.
And then he said that he was a professor in mathematics. Putting two and two together, the next question I asked him, what did I say? You are Cambodian. He said no, he's Chinese. I don't think this particular history of Cambodia is known for the most part within the United States. throughout Southeast Asia during that time, there was a huge resurgence of communism.
Yeah, I mean, I think people know, like, if they're educated.
Right.
And I don't mean educated like they went to college.
Right.
Like, if politics is your thing, then you know about Pol Pot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Khmer Rouge, like, you know about it. But
Yeah.
if that's your thing, you know what I mean?
I think we have a better perception of Ho Chi Minh, for example, or the Pathet Lao. No, just mostly Ho Chi Minh, specifically throughout like the young people's in today's day and age. But we don't ever talk about the Secret War. We don't talk about the Pathet Lao. We don't talk about the Khmer Rouge or the killing fields in Cambodia. So these are the chive cakes. So chive cakes. On the front, or on the outside, I'm getting deep fried, I don't know, some sort of flour. On the opposite side, you can see the chives, right? 100%, I don't know what chives are, so we're about to find out.
You don't know what chives are.
I have no idea. Maybe I've seen
They're
them before.
related to like onions, but they're not onions because they're.
Are we talking like green onions?
Yeah, like
Oh,
you know, like
I know what
like,
that is.
like they grow up like they grow like this.
Yeah, they're like really skinny and they're like that long.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah,
like
we have that.
tubes when you like cut
Yeah,
them.
yeah. I low-key like the bottom part of the chive where you get like the onion scent.
Not gonna lie, it has a pretty strong smell.
The sauce or
The sauce.
That looks like carrots floating in the sauce, but it smells like oily.
Tastes like that sauce like I get when I get like rolls.
Very crunchy. Oily for sure, specifically on the inside. All the chives are on the bottom, and then deep fried at what looks like flour.
It's pretty hot though. I feel you gotta wait a second before you go all in. I don't know if you ever had takoyaki when you were in Japan.
Sounds familiar.
They're like they're like donut holes with octopus inside. But when they fry them, they're straight out the pan.
Mm-hmm.
And Japanese customers to eat it right away.
Okay.
But trust me, if you try to do that, you're gonna burn the top of your mouth. You're gonna be like, and not even enjoy it.
Maybe next time I go back, I'm gonna have to try it. Oh, here we go. Those are the rice noodles, the rice vermicelli. Sauce looks really good.
Oh, are you sure that's yours? I don't even remember what mine's called. Okay, yeah, it has noodles.
Thank you.
After how long? Yeah, after 6 weeks in Japan, I got pretty good.
You got the hang of it?
Yeah.
Do you want to take a photo of it?
Oh yeah, my bad for not taking a photo of your food too.
I'm like, because like, usually you stop me before.
Yeah, I mean.
Certain fried rice with ground pork, roast pork. Seeing bits of carrot, what might be bay leaves or spinach, chunks of onion. It looks really good.
Yeah, I feel like you're loving this, man.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you're like a natural storyteller.
And we're very close.
Thank you for this food today. Amen.
Yeah, she gets there.
I'm glad you recommended this. Thank
Well,
you.
I hope you next time you try 31B. If you come back.
That means a born salesman.
Oh, I like how you just said the number.
Do me a favor. Let me get a little bit of that broth. I want to try some of this on the rice. We're gonna find out if it's any good. Now this is a beef for sure. Or pork? Yeah, it's beef. What I'm gonna do is mix and match here. Drop it right there. Let's see if it's any good.
Yeah. Right, totally. Yeah.
That's savory. I'm getting some salt on there. A little bit of spice.
All right, right now we are at the Urban Lights, correct?
Urban Lights Music, yes.
Urban Lights Music. It's a historical record shop here in St. Paul. It's about 30 years old, correct?
30 years. 32, actually, yeah.
32, so a long time.
Yeah.
And from what I know, it's the only black-owned record store.
In the city, yes.
Oh, in the city, not all of Minnesota.
Not all of Minnesota. Well, possibly, yeah.
Okay.
I would assume so. Yeah,
Okay.
there's probably nothing in the outer.
Yeah, are you telling me there's a black-owned record store in Duluth?
They're probably not. Probably not.
Okay, and this is the owner. His name is Timothy Wilson.
What's up, y'all?
So I actually do see your videos a lot. I follow y'all on Instagram.
Okay,
so
dope,
I know
dope.
y'all have like DJ events here, right?
Yep. We do live DJs on Saturdays. It's we call it Faders Up. So it's a lot of the older school DJs. You know, people who are true to the culture,
Right.
mixing, scratching,
like
originally
vinyl,
turntables, vinyl,
Yep.
the whole thing. And they showcase every weekend. And then we also do some teaching too. So we have a lot of people come in and want to learn how to DJ. So we teach those adults, kids. We also bring classes in and teach young, the youth how to get down.
Okay, that's really cool. So you're not just an entrepreneur, but you're also a DJ yourself, right?
Yeah, well, I used to be.
You used to be.
Yeah.
Did you make like
I'm
songs
still nice,
and music
but
as well?
Yeah, I did way back.
Okay. Did you make like rap music, or did you make
made
like
rap music.
soul
I
rap?
made rap music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you a rapper or producer?
I was both.
You were both.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I tell people you got to go dig for it. I don't.
Can we find you on YouTube?
You probably could somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look for it later.
Okay. Yeah, that's what's up.
All right. And you're from Minneapolis.
Yeah.
So you're not from St. Paul.
No, I'm not from St. Paul. I'm from Minneapolis, but I
Okay.
DJ'd over here a lot. And
Okay.
Moved around.
Does that have something to do with why you opened the store here? Or not?
Well, I opened a store here because I used to hang out. This used to be Northern Lights back in the day, back in the 80s and 90s. And I was in sales. My sales territory was St. Paul. So I used to come do lunch every day at Northern Lights and hang out, read the trade magazines, and, just move around the record store like I really was supposed to be there type thing.
Yeah.
And they wanted to sell that particular location. And we were joking one day, and they were like, "You should buy it, man. You're here all the time." And I was like, "Oh, me and my friends used to joke about having a record store." So me and my friends got together, ponied up some money, and bought a record store.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah,
No, I feel like that's like something out of a movie.
yeah,
like,
kind of.
Just
Yeah.
kind of make a dream come true.
Yeah, for real, for real.
Yeah. Okay, but you spend a lot of time in St. Paul still when you're not here?
Yes.
Or you're more like Minneapolis?
Both. It just depends what's going on.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
What was the hip hop scene like? So I remember I was here with my mom one time,
Okay.
and you disclosed to us your age. You look a lot younger than you are.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the hip hop scene back, like in the 80s and 90s?
In the early days
yeah.
of rap.
Yeah, I mean here specifically
got you.
Minneapolis, St. Paul. What was that like?
So there was a scene, and we were kind of on the forefront of it. I like to say I was there probably from the beginning, from breakdancing in the parks and throwing park board parties, and putting people up on all the new music. And then at the same time, we discovered rapping, and so we incorporated that into our DJ sets. And I've worked for record labels, record pools, all local stuff here. So yes, there definitely was a scene. The first official rap record out of Minneapolis was TCL, David Ellis, known as TC. It's called the Twin Cities Rap. That was the first record that was actually ever pressed up and out for sale. So yeah, I was back there then.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. Like, I don't know anything about Minneapolis or St. Paul rap.
Okay.
I'm from DC, by the way,
Okay,
so it's not
for
like I
sure.
grew up here and
I
didn't
got
know
you.
what the culture was.
For sure.
Yeah, I think Brother Ali is like the only person I know. from
Okay.
Minneapolis.
Probably rhyme sayers.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. But I'm sure there's others, right?
Yeah, there's
I'm
plenty.
doing the work right now too.
Yeah, right. I mean, back in the day, we were. So I worked at a label called Wide Angles. We had groups like the Style Posse, Champagne C, Polo in Effect, Soul Purpose, and then there was K-Tel Records had a label here as well too locally, and they had a group called the IRM Crew. So those were probably the first rap groups outside of the Twin Cities rap to really start making it happen. And then Rhyme Sayers came soon after that, and then then the onslaught of rap happened.
Okay, hell yeah. So my friend right here, he grew up in St. Paul on the
Okay.
west side.
That's what's
Apparently, he's walked, University Avenue 100 times,
Okay.
but he's never noticed.
He's never
There's
noticed.
a record shop. So I'm gonna hand over
It's
the
the
mic.
best kept secret in St. Paul.
He's always got a lot of interesting questions.
It's all good. It's all good.
I was on the walk over here. I
Okay.
was trying to figure out like if I could recognize your location.
Mhm.
And in my memory, I have Elsa's House Asleep.
Mhm.
What's that burger joint just down the block from here?
Oh, Culver's?
Culver's, yeah.
Yep.
In my mind, and so I don't know because I currently like collect records.
Okay,
right?
for sure.
Not as prominently as some other musicians.
For sure.
But I spent time around the world, around Minneapolis specifically,
Okay.
around the Pacific Northwestern coast, just walking into record shops and seeing what I could find. And part of me is ashamed for having walked up and down this block, right?
Well hidden.
Right.
Yeah,
And not taking the time to look through your storefront.
for sure.
I am curious
Mhm.
because I grew up in the days of like Def Jam
Okay.
with Kid Capri, yeah? You would see him spinning as they're doing the intro announcing the comedian.
Oh yeah, on Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah, I'm
for sure.
wondering where that went. You don't see turntables or
Well, it's here
mixers,
every
you know?
Saturday.
Well, yeah, it was my first time here, you know? Is it as prominent as it was in the 90s?
Mhm. It is. Well, let's say this. COVID made everybody a DJ, so everybody went and grabbed the controller and learned how to hook their laptop up and just mix records, not knowing the art of it.
Could you explain what that means to mix records? What does that mean?
That means taking, let's say, one beat on one turntable and mixing it with another beat on another turntable, seamlessly blending them so you don't know it changed, unless I want you to know it changed.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's pretty much like you play a record.
Mhm.
There's a similar enough rhythm
Mhm.
or something, so you make it where you're like you hear that one song.
Yep.
And it's little by little.
I'm bringing in the next record, or I'm starting the same record over again, but moving it over to this turntable.
Okay.
But I could do it without you noticing.
Let me ask you a technical question. From what I've seen on the turntables, right? I'll see DJers, right? Spin. And that's where you pick up the scratch, right? What? How is it that you are fully aware, not you specifically, but DJs overall, how is it that they're able to stop on command and pick up exactly where they want? How do they know how long they want that scratch to last? And then where, once they let go, it's exactly where it needs to be. How do they know that?
I mean, one, it's knowing your records, which is very important. So as a DJ, whether you're on the radio, you're doing parties in the park, or wherever, events, weddings, all kinds of stuff, you have to know your music. So if I know my music, I know when it starts. And so me catching the beat or catching a word and then being able to throw it in on cue and have it be perfectly seamlessly go into the next situation is just practice.
Okay. Another question. So Abraham had sent me some of the photos and videos on IG that you have for your account.
Okay, for sure.
In one particular video, I mean several videos overall, but in one particular video that I saw, here you are spinning with this hand.
Yep.
And then with this other hand, you're up and down on
the fader.
Fader. Okay. So that would be like the volume itself going in and out? What is that?
It depends. It could be, but more than likely, a lot of people use the fader alongside of the record in order to give it an effect, to make the scratch sound like you want it to sound.
I guess I don't understand. How would they be able to change that scratch? Like we know what a scratch sounds like, but
with records, it's just one scratch, literally.
Okay.
Whether it's a vocal piece or a beat, drum beat, snare, kick, something, whatever I feel I can make a good noise out of. But with the new mixers, they have pads on them. Okay. So I can go like this and I can keep going back and forth with the fader, but I'm hitting the pad and I'm changing what you're hearing, the scratch. So it's technical, that's all I can say. You have to come watch it. So practice.
Part of me is interested, and a tiny bit intimidated.
Okay.
So I want to see how this art is done.
For sure.
Yeah. And you said Saturdays?
Saturdays, noon to 4.
Noon to 4.
Yeah, DJs are live.
All right, I'm gonna take work off next week.
Come through.
See if I can come by.
Yeah, come hang out.
Okay. So you have like.
I have people that do. Yeah, for sure. All the time. Yeah.
Nice.
I am running out of space on my phone. So, hey, we can still talk shop. off
sure.
camera.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's do it.
but yeah, thank you for the interview,
Of
man.
course.
And I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
all good. Oh,
Thank
no, I appreciate the interest in what we do.
How's your first YouTube video? I feel you enjoyed it a lot more than you thought you would.
That wasn't bad at all. I had a lot more to say than I figured I would. I was very comfortable being able to discuss between ourselves, with your sister, with our guests.
And I really want to appreciate my friend Yoel because he really did steal the show today. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit all the anecdotes into there, but I know Anthony Bourdain would be proud of us because we are in an empty dive bar at 4 p.m. And that's how we're gonna finish the day. Peace. Subscribe below. Give it a like.